Hare Who remembers what we discussed last Wednesday? Anybody has a hand? Some norms? Yes. Fault finding. Okay, fault finding in which context? Raise your hand. Okay. Criticizing the devotees. Yes. Okay. Mine's good. Huh? Anything else?
We discussed about doing, like we do things often on the level of words, then physical.
Okay, different types of offenses. What was the major discussion?
11 offenses.
Okay, 11 offenses. And so everybody knows now those 11 offenses? Who doesn't know, raise your hand. Okay, one. We were not there last Wednesday. That's why. Okay. Okay, Deepak, you can tell him afterwards. You can explain what is this about. Because if we chant, then we have to know how to chant properly. We may be chanting. Chanting is given process. It's a transcendental process. It doesn't require any additional qualification. But chanting in itself, it's not sufficient, because if we just chant, then we are committing one of the offenses. You know that? We already said, which one is that? No, that will happen. But if you just chant without understanding how to chant, then which offense is that? No, wrong. No.
Imagination.
No. Well, how many are left now? Who can raise their hand? Who knows? This is very serious. I mean, we are discussing this very casually, but this is extremely serious. You see, Prabhupada, I don't know if it's Prabhupada, but at least devotees, every morning we should recite these offenses before starting to chant our rounds. Is it so important?
The first one.
No, wrong again. Okay. Suspension till end of class now. This is all the. Yes.
Having material actions.
No, that's the 10th one. Okay, how many are left? Yes.
Thinking that Buddhism is equal to daily gods.
No.
Not knowing the glories of the holy.
No. Okay, only 3 are left now. So.
Considering it equal to not obeying the strict instructions.
Oh, okay, 2 are left now. How do we know about? Wait a second. Wrong. Okay, wrong. No. How do we know about holy name? 4 defense. Blasphemy scriptures. So blasphemy doesn't refer to handling scriptures in a particular way. Blasphemy means not to follow the scriptures, not to understand what the scriptures say. And scriptures say they give us these offenses. They tell us also you have to take initiation from the spiritual master. Why? Because there are so many subtle guidelines, things that will help us understand how to chant, why to chant, so many different how not to chant. This will come through Guru. This will not just come by chanting in itself. So we need guidance. That's a common sense principle. Krishna to Guru, Chaitanya Mahaprabhu to Guru. They don't need Guru. They show us how we require guidance. It's common sense even in any modern educational system or anything. You need some facilitation, guidance, help. So that's what Shastra enjoins. It says we have to take gurus, so that's very important. So these offenses are part of that. You can, the only effort, the only influence that you can have over your spiritual life is this, to try to avoid offenses or not. That's all. That's all that it's in your power. And then prema, that's up to Krishna, whether he'll give you or not. That depends on how did you do in these all previous stages. It's a clearing process, but if we don't come purified, we will eternally stay here. Eternally we can chant Hare Krishna, but then again, what is the benefit? So this is important point. Try to note this down. You have a choice now. As long as you are in the human body, and you will be always conditioned to human body, of course, but you might not have that choice because you might degrade yourself in a human body. But as long as you're in human form, you have choice to try to avoid the offenses. And they might be there in gross level, subtle level. You know, as we progress, less and less prominent and less affecting us. But still, the opportunities will always be there, so to say. Option of performing those offenses, making those offenses will always be there. So it's always, we only have a choice whether we're going to avoid them or not. And the more we avoid them, the more we are actually showing how we are advanced in spiritual life. And we will gain so much taste because that will not disturb the chanting, that will, the potency of the chanting. And that's why it is explained that now, till this stage where we are now, what are we associating? Whom we are? This is called Maya Japa. Maya Japa. We are not really associating with the holy name. We are still associating with Maya. Why? Because last time we said, what are we doing when we are chanting? We are thinking about so many Maya things. No? What is our chanting? We said it's like a backdrop. It's like a background music for our shopping, or background music for our plans, or background music for so many different things. It's Maya, because we're really thinking about Maya. So that's Maya chanting. It's not really chanting. When one comes to level of Nishta, then slowly one starts hearing the name as it is. Your chanting and perception of the name is same. So Nishta is Madhyam platform. That's where you can really call yourself devotee. So we're not on that level yet. But that's a steady platform. That's really, when the name and your pronunciation and your thoughts are in the same line. That's a very good stage. So Nama, then from that, then comes Nama, Rupa. Then you can start perceiving Krishna's form. And that comes Ruchi, Asakti. And then from that form, Nama, Rupa, Guna, Krishna's qualities, then Lila, you can enter into pastimes. You don't have to imagine pastimes. You don't have to imagine Krishna. You are there just by chanting, because chanting and Krishna are not different. You want to come to those stages, you have to learn about offenses and avoid those offenses. Otherwise, it will never happen. Then always you will be chanting, oh, I don't have taste for chanting. I don't, so much struggle. It's so boring. It's so this and that. No, that means we're doing Maya Japa. You're not doing real Japa. And that, why we're doing like this? Because we are not avoiding offenses. We're doing some offenses. We said either in attention, or we are offending maybe some devotees, doing something wrong. We're basically not following authority Guru Sada Shastra. That's the fourth one we said. Or maybe committing sinful activities still on the strength, or maintaining material attachments. Tenth one, yeah. that's also there. Then how do you expect to advance in spiritual life? It's going to be very difficult. So that's what we have to learn. So please, if you want to really get some taste and advance in spiritual life, at least learn those offenses. Every day should be. It takes how much time it takes? It takes maybe 2 minutes, 2 minutes to recite. It's not very much. At least, even mechanically, if nothing else, we should do it. That's a matter of duty, and that's what we do in the temple. Almost every morning. Of course, sometimes they change for Shikshashtra Kabram, some offenses should be recited. It's part of the morning program. Offenses, so you don't commit it. That's the point. You should not commit it. You should not be attempted. I gave some examples. I have a list. Read some of those. It's funny and it's not funny, but it's like, it's like last time we said, we gave you example, Jibber Jabba. No? You know what is Jibber Jabba? Yeah, okay, wait, let me tell the ones and then you tell me. Go ahead. Jibber Jabba is when you're chanting and you see someone. How you do Hare Krishna. Oh, you heard about this? Hare Krishna. Oh, yes, Hare Krishna. It's like, so that's okay. It's a complete mess. It's like, what kind of japa is this? Very good job. We said the rape japa, just looking everywhere, That's the one? Yeah. You see everything else and hear everything else except what you're supposed to, Look. But I was thinking about another one that's the best. You're chanting japa and then you're in front of the mirror. And then you look, oh, this tilak is like this, Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna. Look at it, Hare Krishna. It's called mirror japa. It's another form of inattentive chanting. So let me see here. I pin number. Let's see if there is any other little more prominent, interesting one. There's a list of them. That's too much. Anybody wants this? I mean, you can. There's another. Killing time japa, chanting but thinking of things to entertain yourself while you chant. It seems like you're bored by it, Or bored by chanting. Creative japa. Oh, using japa as a time for brainstorming. This is good idea now. Wow, you see, okay, Hare Krishna. Some more good ideas might come. Driving japa. Who does that? That's terrible. So, yeah, I don't like this, Hare Krishna. That's really offensive. This is good one. No, it's called no japa. Because you're rolling beads while talking to someone. And this is finished round, not chanted one round. That's a good one. Call and response japa on mobile site. Left hand japa. I saw that also. Chanting with the left hand. That's not so good. So different types of expressions of japa, entertainment japa, internet, window shopping japa, slumber japa, of course, that's when you fall, that's your bitter medicine japa, it's so difficult, painful japa. How would you sightseeing, shopping, apathy? Anyway, so they're different. So we should not do this type of japas. That's all part of inattentive chanting. To try to avoid it. As Prabhupada said, just focus. Hear the holy name. Hear the holy name and you'll be with the holy name. Holy name is not different than Krishna. Krishna will be with us. Okay, so please try to avoid this, learn these 10 offenses so that we don't have to go through it. And let's focus on what we are supposed to do. Chaitanya Charitamrita. Of course, you can't focus on that unless we chant properly, because Chaitanya Charitamrita is all about inspiring us to chant, to practice this Yoga Dharma, to get benefit, to become purified, to get taste, advance in spiritual life. So now I don't even remember what we discussed in Chaitanya Charitamrita, but confidential reasons for the Lord's appearance, chapter 4. I know we discussed some rasas, right? Call it, that was there. What was the last thing? Okay, how simultaneously. So what was the last verse? Somebody else. 28, 27? No way. We are way ahead of that. Anyway, let's just read. 38, 40. What? 41? I don't remember if I read the text. 40? Really? All the way to, okay, 40. Okay, so I'll just read two previous ones. When the Lord desired to appear for another reason, the time for promulgating the religion of the age also rose. Yeah, so we discussed that. So, Krishna, by one's activity, accomplishes the purpose of so many others. That's just his nature of his activities. So thus, with two intentions, the Lord appeared with his devotees and tasted the nectar of prema with congregational chanting of the holy name. I mean, what do you do when you're happy? Huh? What do you do when you're happy? What is the most natural symptom that happiness is expressed through? Huh? Singing song. Okay. Anything else? Dancing. Okay. So that's what it. Yeah, we heard it already. Okay. So that's what it said in Brahma Samhita, that the spiritual world is characterized by what? Where every word is a song, where every step is a dance. And everybody's happy there. No? So what did Chaitanya Mahaprabhu come and present? Singing and dancing. No? Sankirtan. So is this so difficult? So that means we are not happy. We cannot be happy. We are not singing and we are not dancing. So there's something wrong. No? There was one Srila Prabhupada's disciple, Govindas Maharaj. He said, if you don't dance in Kirtan, you don't feel like dancing. Now Ratha Yatra is coming. We'll see who is dancing. If you can't dance or you're not dancing, you don't feel like dancing. So he said that was like really struck me. It's like he said, that means you're heavy with sin. It's heavy. You have so much sin that you cannot jump and dance. No? So someone who cannot dance, that means he's heavy with sin. I'm pretty heavy. So think about that. So when if you're filled with sin or whatever, which everybody to some extent is, so better we start jumping and dancing and get rid of that sin, Because in front of Jagannath, everything will get purified. Okay, so let's, okay, so 40. Thus he spread kirtan even among the untouchables. He wove a breath of the holy name and prema, with which he garlanded the entire material world. So that we discussed. Okay, text 41. Emata bhakta bhavakari agnikara apanyachari bhakti karila prachara. Translation and purport by His Divine Grace A.C. Bhaktivedanta Swami Srila Prabhupada. In this way, assuming the sentiment of a devotee, he preached devotional service while practicing it himself. So that's a long report. So we'll break it. It's like 2 pages. Om Jnana Timirandasya Gyananjana Shlaka Chakshunamritamina Tasmai Shri Gurave Namaha Namo Vishnu Paraya Krishna Preshta Bhutale Srimate Bhaktivedanta Swami Nitinam Namaste Saraswati Devi Gauram Pachayam Visheshna Kashishna Jai Shri Krishna Chaitanya Prabhu Nityananda Shri Advaita Gadadhar Shri Sri Gaura Bhaktivinoda Hare Krishna 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 Hare 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 Rama Hare. So in this way, assuming the sentiment of a devotee, he preached devotional service or practicing it himself. People have, it's interesting, people have an objection that, why we have to serve Krishna. I just had one discussion this Sunday. Somebody came and he was so adamant, then, why, we don't have a choice. Practically what he meant, we don't have a choice to be God. That was his objection. Why God is God? And why am I not God? That was his objection. And I was really controlling myself. I really had a hard time just to. It's such a display of envy, really. Well, anybody knows what are the most envious creatures? You know what are the most envious creatures? Who have a lot of envy. Snakes. Not all of them, not all the snakes also, but generally, those poisonous ones. Yeah, scorpions. Why? Because, why? 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 How can we say that they have envy? Yeah, they've lost. What else? What else they do? They'll bite you without any real reason. They just strike without any real reason. So that's envy. Poison, it's another thing. The envy is also poison. You keep envy, you see how you will suffer. Envy is such an abominable demon. It said that there's no envy. The only quality that's not there in the spiritual world, you can't use it for anything spiritual. Maybe it's few exceptions, but I won't discuss those now. But it's in essence, it's just the most abominable quality. So that's envy. Why is God God? Why am I not God? And whole discussion went around that. Why am I not God? Why is he God? So much envy of God. But that's the reason why we're all here. To some extent, we all had it, or still have it. Why is Krishna Krishna? Why is Krishna Krishna? Why I'm not Krishna? How do you talk to someone like this? And then he said, I'm not getting my answers answered. Because that's the only thing he wants to hear, that yes, you're God. And that's what Prabhupada said. Anybody who says, I'm God, then he said, you're not DOG or GOD. The other way around. You're not GOD, you're DOG. You're dog. How can you say that you're God? And and then you blame God that why, I'm not God and he's God. And you blame God for that. So it's no-brainer. It's just senseless. It's really senseless. Okay, we may discuss why am I in a particular, unfavorable situation, but that has to be answered first. Not now. And that's another big offense, which I also pointed out. Material energy won't tolerate. Krishna will tolerate offenses, but not the material energy. And we'll get heavy reactions for such kind of offensive thoughts and activities and desires. It's not a good idea. Why am I not, I don't know why and what. You can think of anything. Of course, you can become anything in this material world, material in some ways, if you, but okay, qualify first. Qualify first, deserve, the saying goes, first deserve, then the desire. Qualify first. You may qualify, maybe, why am I not prime minister? Of course, I would never want to be that. That's like, because you get 1/6 of all the karma of everybody, you know. That's how hardly anybody knows. And what are people nowadays? Are they very pious? Ooh, heavy. Anyway, so just the analogy's sake, and it's like, okay, why am I not prime minister? Okay, qualify first. Deserve, then desire. Why is he prime minister and I'm not prime minister? You know, that's. But what's the point of discussing this? But qualify first. But do something about it. Try to understand. You know, even if prime minister wants, sometimes he can make you act as a prime minister if he wants. You want to be like God, God can make you act like a God. There's no problem about it. He has no issues about it. And he can even set you up to think that you're God. Even if you want to be, you know, he can do everything, but have a proper attitude, have a proper understanding, have a proper dealing, proper approach, proper relationship with someone who is qualified, can make you qualified. At least that for a beginning. If that's not there, just straightforward poison, you know, like a snake shooting. You know, sometimes, you know, there are those snakes that shoot you in the eyes. You know, they spit poison and far away. You know, they don't even bite you. They just shoot the poison and then you're finished. You know, shoot you in the eyes. It enters through the eyes. It's heavy. And you're finished. It's very, very, very envious. Very envious. Envious creatures. You know. So for those, Krishna said, what can be done? I just cast them down into lower and lower species of life. They're so envious, they're so bitter. And what is religion? They say it's irreligion. And what is irreligion? They say this is religion. They don't act according to any Shastric injunctions. They're just acting whimsically. There's so many descriptions. What is demoniac nature in the 16th chapter of Bhagavad Gita? What can be done? There's some people, they just have those qualities. Very envious. So why is God God? You know, but here, what we see here, God doesn't want to be God. He acts as a devotee. This is what I tried to explain, you know. But that fellow they couldn't get it, you know. Because when you're envious, you can't get it. And you have so much poison. How can you taste anything sweet? Anything sweet you get, it just like it said. Don't you know? Do you feed snake with milk? You put some nice sugar. You put some nice, how they call it, tandai or milkshake, that's even better. A mango milkshake or something. You know. You give it to a snake, you know, it just increases its poison. You know. So what do you do? That's why. Which offense is that? Raise the hand. Who knows? Which offense is this? To feed snake with a mango milkshake. which offense is? Wait. Which offense is this? Offense to the holy name. You have to know, Paka, if you say something wrong, then suspension till the end of class. Now really think about it. No, only one. Okay, who is sure? Raise your hand straight up. Not like this. Straight up. Who is sure? Who was first? Who was first? Okay, which one? Okay, correct. It's like the faithless person of the intimate glories, we said, of the holy name, 9 offense. So we can speak about general potency of the holy name and application and purpose and benefits, but not too many intimate things. You know, then the demon becomes more agitated, because the more you speak about glories of Krishna, the more he becomes envious. And the more he makes offenses, then what did you do? You made things worse. You made him blaspheme more. So you didn't do any service, neither to yourself, neither to anybody else. So you have to be careful. I was just trying to explain, first of all, how material energy won't tolerate this offense. It's an offense. We have to be clear with that. We have what's wrong with, you know, when you're in the spiritual world, that's the whole point why in spiritual world there is no envy. Like, you ask Hanuman, anybody can go and ask Hanuman. Where is Hanuman now? He's in Kinara Loka, so you have to qualify. Anyway, he's not, or you can go beyond the Badri and whatever. If you would have a chance, of course, you would have asked Hanuman, Hanuman, would you like to become Ram? What do you think? By reading Ramayana and Hanuman Chalisa or whatever, this and that. So many other, even in Puranas, there's so many Ramayana stories and so. Is there anywhere, of course, there is a statement of Hanuman very clearly what he wants, but what do you think? Would he ever want to become Ram? Never. He would take his gun and punch it like this. What an, I don't say what. Huh? Back to who knows where, even below the earth. And he would find this is so offensive, so offensive. Why would he want to be something? He derives so much more pleasure by serving. He wants to serve. He'll never give that up. And that's the statement. Never give that up. Why would he want to become Ram? But because of envy, we think, no, I want to be Ram. And then what? Okay, what do you want? Some everybody being rolled around or something. What do you want? I mean, what is the point? What is the point? Being Ram. So devotee never, nobody in the spiritual world wants to be Krishna. Nobody wants to be Krishna. Why would they want to be Krishna? And we see even Krishna doesn't want to be Krishna. And you know what is the reason given? The reason given is that even Manjaris were not even gopis. They derive 1,000 times more pleasure by serving Krishna than even Radharani. We can't imagine what it means. That's why Chaitanya Mahaprabhu, one of the most famous verses quoted, of course, Chaitanya Charitamrita, he said, I'm not Vaishya, I'm not Brahman, I'm not this, I'm not that. So what he said, I'm the servant of 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 the gopis. 1,000 times removed. Because we can't conceive this. It's the greatest happiness to keep on serving like this. Because how is that explained? It said like you have Tulsi plant, and the manjari is on the top, and Tulsi shakes. What shakes the most? Manjaris. So they experience the most. So it's like that. So you experience everyone's ecstasy of serving Krishna. You get it multiplied yourself. So many times more removed. Can we? Of course, for us, we have material conception. We don't have spiritual. We think the front, immediate, direct, whatever. It's a wrong conception. That's not spiritual conception. So God Himself, this is what we are discussing right here. God Himself wants to taste that ecstasy. Of course, here is Radharani, but even more than Radharani, is acting as a devotee. He wants to taste that ecstasy that devotees feel and taste by serving Him. There's nothing greater than, see, that's ignorance. You see what the ignorance is? We have these material, envious conceptions. We think being God, this is what it's goal of life. It's madness. It's just ignorant madness. And that's why Krishna is coming and teaching us, no fool, that's not the goal of life. You better serve. You get a greater benefit. No, I don't want to be servant. I want to be a master. How do you convince someone who has so much envy like that? And that's why Krishna, He Himself has to come and present this teaching, what it means to be a devotee, how to serve God and Krishna, to really taste that nectar of Krishna consciousness, of serving Krishna. And at least there are 1, 2, 3, 4, well, I can think of 4 now, different expansions of Krishna who serve Krishna. Anybody knows? Anybody can say 1 or 2 or 3 or 4, maybe more? Anybody? 1 second. Think about it for a second. Which are the forms of Krishna which actually want to serve Krishna? Which are the forms of Krishna which want to serve Krishna? Okay, say.
Lord Balaram.
Lord Balaram, yes, correct. Balaram expands in all 5 rasas. Balaram is the spiritual world. So Balaram serves Krishna. He wants to serve Krishna. Why he wants to do that? He's no different than Krishna. There's only one difference between Balaram and Krishna. Who knows? Yeah. One is white, one is black. There's no difference otherwise. Of Of course, the difference is then Balaram wants to serve. Although it appears, that Balaram, like we have in Krishna Balaram, and Balaram is resting on Krishna and like this, it's like this. But Balaram is serving Krishna. Okay, who else? Yes. Radharani, wrong, but Radharani is not Krishna, it's a Shakti Tattva, internal potence. Yeah, she's expansion, but Krishna himself. Yes.
Sankarshan, Pradyumna,
No, they are expansions, but they have, okay, how they serve Krishna? By following Krishna's instructions, maybe, but it's like, not directly. We said they represent different, Sankarshan and Pradyumna, they represent different features, the intellect, mind, ego, and consciousness. They're different functions. It's not so direct. It's not so, you really have to go around explaining philosophy this to say that's some, but direct service, immediate. Okay, so that's Chaitanya Mahaprabhu. Yeah. Chaitanya Mahaprabhu. Okay, who else? Okay.
Ananta Shesha.
What?
Ananta Shesha.
Ananta Shesha. Yeah, okay. Ananta Shesha is serving, but he is kind of he is expansion. It's like of Sankarsha. Okay, Balaram. Same. And then you can say Balaram. Then it's the same. Govardhan, Kija, Giriraj Govardhan. He's Krishna and he's a devotee of Krishna. Haridas Varyogopit said, the best of all the servants. Giriraj Govardhan. Yes. Okay, and I'll tell one more. You have one more? Who? I already said that. Just said 2 seconds back. Okay. Lord Shiva.
Lord Buddha.
No. Okay, anyway. Lord Shiva also serves. Advaita Acharya, he is Krishna. Sadashiva is Krishna. For another discussion. Okay, anyway. So the point is Krishna wants to serve himself, to taste the ecstasies that his devotees are tasting while serving him. And he reciprocates. And we see that even when Krishna doesn't serve himself, so to say, to taste what the devotees are tasting, what he does, he wants to serve his devotees. There's a competition practically going on. Devotee wants to serve Krishna more. No, Krishna wants to serve the devotee more. How many times it's all happened? Sudama Brahmana examples. Arjuna, who would, Arjuna is touching Krishna with his feet, directing, go left, right, here and there, whatever, kicking him, this, that. Krishna became chariot driver of Arjuna. He glorifies Bhishma. He doesn't speak out. Bhishma, he gives Bhishma, to get all the credit, making so many arrangements. Anyway, that's another deep discussion. He's glorifying all of his devotees, making so many different kinds of arrangements. He doesn't want to come forefront. He's just looking how to glorify his devotees. I mean, I have to start thinking now with so many cases. Everywhere, Krishna is just glorifying everybody else. He's not interested in his own promotion or something. He's Atmarama, he's self-satisfied. He doesn't need anyone. But he wants to make devotees happy. That's how he reciprocates. That's how he reciprocates with everybody. He wants to glorify everybody else. So many cases. There was one more that came to my mind. Now it vanished. Anyway, it might come back. Like more prominent case. But in every case, Krishna does that. Every case he wants to glorify. He doesn't want to sit and just, listen to all the prayers and hymns, and he gets bored, He's not interested in that. He wants to, that's why he's Krishna. He wants to play with his coward boys, and sometimes they defeat him, and he finds pleasure in that. That's Krishna. And then as a punishment, he has to catch the tail of the calf and run through the cow dung and whatever it is. That's Krishna. Yeah. So then if one wants to say, I want to be Krishna, okay, can you qualify to be Krishna? As I said in the beginning, qualify. But you can't even qualify. It's just different position. Why do you want to be Krishna? Because whoever you are, when you're in the spiritual world, you're 100% satisfied. There's no envy. Everybody has its own relationship with Krishna and everybody else. It's so unique that nobody can replace them. There's no envy. And it's so perfect. Like it said, there are different glasses here, different cups, whatever, and everyone, it's filled till it's stopped, fully satisfied. And they don't want to be this one or that one. No, fully satisfied. Just imagine you're fully satisfied. You have such a good meal or something, I don't know, whatever. You just had such a big feast in Govindas or something, whatever, it's like, and then somebody comes, you want something more, and say, no, when you're really fully satisfied and there's no desire for anything, then why would you want something? Well, you don't want, you're just fully satisfied. And maybe somebody next to you is a little bigger or something, they can eat more, okay, they can take, but even they have their limit and they're fully satisfied. You don't go to overeating or something like this. It makes no sense. So when you feel where you're fully satisfied, when your mind is also satisfied, then you even won't think about overeating. That's another thing. So that's full satiation and satisfaction, both simultaneously. Yeah? So that's the case in spiritual world. You don't want to. Why would you want to and be someone and something else? There's not even desire like this. So that means we don't understand anything about our conditional or constitutional position. We have no understanding, we have no knowledge, we're in complete ignorance. And it's all just because of that envy burns that any knowledge, any propensity, spiritual propensity, any good quality. I said, envy is such a great poison. You can't have any understanding. So it's such an enemy of the living entity. Yeah. And that's why we have to give it up. Trividam Narakasidam Varanashanam Apana. He said the 3 gates leading to hell. Envy also is like this. Lust, anger, and greed. Every sane man should give them up. It's not a good idea. Why being envious? Why? What was the point? Somebody has it and I don't have it. Well, what's the point? What's the point? You can also have everything you want. You already, actually, see, that's ignorant. Like Hiranyakashipu or Ravana, we said the greatest demons. They did so much tapasya. Why? Who knows? Why Hiranyakashipu and Ravana, let's say, or anyone, Shishupal, this one, there, any demon, greatest demons, why they do tapasya? What they want to achieve? Huh?
They wanted to be a god.
Where's your hand? Okay.
They wanted to be the place of
No, but what is the feature of God? What is one of the qualities?
powerful, opulent.
No, yes.
They don't die.
Eternity. Eternity. So, isn't the soul eternal?
Yes.
To understand? So why we can't understand this? Because we're in ignorance, we have envy. You don't have to do so much tapa and think to conquer, and do this and do that, and then you already are eternal. That's why they didn't understand. They're already eternal. They don't have to go through all of this, whatever. They don't have to trouble the whole universe, and all unnecessary. They're already eternal. It's just a matter of knowledge. It's just a matter of internal introspection. Yeah. Matter of spiritual guidance, understanding. You don't have to do any of those. And they made such a huge effort and so much anxiety and so much, like Hiranyakashipu was so much enraged that he couldn't control his son. Where'd you get that power from? It's the same source matter, Father, as you do. But he didn't know, he didn't accept, he didn't want. Why? Envy. And Krishna has to come and remove that poison, from our heart. So why would we want to be Krishna? What's the point? When Krishna, he himself comes, he wants to be a devotee. He's showing it's so much greater to be a devotee. It's so much greater position. Krishna puts Nanda Baba's padukas on his head. Yeah. And he does so many things, glorifying his devotees and making his devotees greater than he is. Okay, so you can become Krishna like this. Why don't you become Krishna like this? Serve Krishna's devotees as Krishna is doing. Start like that. Start like that. You want to be, somebody wants to be Krishna, so you tell him, okay, then you act like Krishna. Why don't you start serve Krishna's devotees? Order some prasadam or something, distribute, or ask those devotees how to serve them, whatever. I don't know. There's so many ways you can serve devotees. Start somewhere. Okay, you know how to, but you have to have driving license. Something like that. So now you can't drive and do whatever. Serve devotees. Start serving devotees. Krishna is doing this. Okay, then you start acting as Krishna. Otherwise, what's the point? But no, they'll be so envious, amazing. Sometimes you feel that outpour of that envy. It's like, I was really burning last time. I was just really, I was like really trying to control myself. Such an idiocity, really. It's just such nonsense and madness. Why is Krishna Krishna, and I'm not Krishna? That's what I said. Hanuman, I never think about why should I become Ram. Ram is Ram, Haribol, great, wonderful, and I'm Hanuman. I want to serve and never do anything else. Never. It's perfectly situated. So what's our problem then? It's ignorance. It's ignorance, just pure ignorance. So that's why, anyway, time is running. So that's why, in this way, assuming this way, which way? Krishna had kirtan, Chaitanya Mahaprabhu had kirtan, he spread it to everyone, even untouchables, the whole world. He just gave that nectar unlimitedly to everybody. Yeah. And assuming this sentiment of a devotee, he preached devotional service while practicing it himself. So that's the point. That's also another big discussion. Achar, Prachar, no. Who is the leader, who shows the way, he walks on the way, he knows what's the goal. So Krishna is teaching us also how to be a devotee also. How to be a devotee and taste that nectar of Krishna consciousness. So how can somebody say Krishna, blame Krishna for everything? He also says in Gita, I gave you this process, you follow this process, you'll be perfectly happy and satisfied in this world. But follow the process. No, I want to have my own process. Okay, wonderful. Okay, try best. What can be done? Yeah. So Chaitanya Mahaprabhu is teaching us like this. He's personally exemplifying what we're supposed to do if we want to achieve what we want to achieve. You can't invent your own way. You can, but then what's the use of it? And you see what happens. You want to invent your own way, that means you're God. That's a good one then, Okay, do you speak your own Bhagavad Gita? Can you do that? No, but why Krishna did it? How could he do that? And I cannot. I mean, what an envy. What an envy. Okay, you speak your own Bhagavad Gita. Let's see what comes out. Only poison. Only poison comes out. Horrible. Okay, we'll stop. Time is up. Any questions on this? Any challenges?
I wanted to know the difference between envy and jealousy.
Envy and jealousy. Envy is destructive. You can't tolerate other person existing. And you just can't tolerate it. You just want that person dead. Envy, it's expression of just hating someone so much that you just don't want them to exist even. You just want to see them non-existent. It's so destructive. Jealousy means I also want to be like someone, or I also want to have something. That's no problem with jealousy. So let them have, but I also want. Kind of like this. You don't want to derive anybody from anything. Deride anybody. You don't want to deprive anybody from anything. You just also want to have that. So that's fine. There's no problem with that. Queens in Dwarka also jealous. Satyabhama got flower. No, Rukmini got flower. Satyabhama said, I want tree. So Krishna had to go and fetch the tree. And even fight with Indra. So that's jealousy. That's okay. No problem. Okay? Yes.
Prabhuji, as we are talking about the endiness, so in devotion service also a lot of devotees come who just expand in the bhakti and they start feeling very exaggerated and then they feel and they behave like pure devotees. Especially I've observed this in a Mataji. After once they get initiated, they feel very much exalted devotees or something like that. And Prabhupadaji's one video I've seen that he has mentioned that if you are doing the devotion service very well, it's good enough. But if you are not being a gentle man or woman, so it does not worth it. It will not going to proceed further. So like I wanted to know little.
Well, that's again why we have to have somebody to guide us. No? We have to have spiritual master as much as his association as much as possible, or some kind of communication going on, exchange, whatever, or some authoritative guidance that it directs us wherever we are, maybe a little bit diverted from the understanding what is the essence and goal of the process that we practice. There's nothing wrong of when we, to some extent, advance and get some recognition for it, that we feel happy about that. There's nothing wrong with them, but that should not be exploited, because the essence of spiritual life, it's the more one is advanced, the more one feels not to be advanced. Yeah, they feel humble, but they can feel some happiness in their life. They can feel some mercy bestowed upon them. That's not wrong, but that should not be used against others. That's a different thing. So that different circumstances, but there may be our perception, it's one-sided perception also. That also has to be seen and discussed. But generally, yes, there are general qualities of devotees, and one can see how one is advancing, which qualities he displays in the course of one's devotional practice. So then that can be judged, according to those qualities displayed. Okay? Anything else? But it's a fact in one sense. I said initiation. Prabhupada said seniority is by initiation. Seniority by initiation. So whoever is initiated earlier is considered senior. There should be some respect for that. Because initiation means you're initiated. Your life is beginning from that point. Everything else you do before that, it's to bring you to that point. And when initiation is there, then you really start spiritual life. But you can't take it for granted. It's not a rubber stamp. Then you have to work on it. You have to, sometimes you have to deserve it also. Now you got, you have to achieve that. You have to develop that adhikar. So sometimes it might be an impetus, but most of the time one has to still deserve it and display that qualification. Okay, 9 o'clock, we'll stop here. Shri Prabhupada ki jai.